सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। शांति मंत्र टुगेदर। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि। सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणम् अस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So Upanishad begins with a question by the student. The question is, how does this mind function? How does my speech function? Is there some intelligent principle behind all this functioning? Because it appears there is. So what is the answer of the teacher? Yes, there is. He is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of the speech, the prana of the prana. So what does it mean? There is a sentient principle, the pure consciousness which is giving sentiency. So the question is answered in a very different way. It is the ear of the ear, the speech of the speech. Now what does it mean? It is because of that principle the speech functions, the ears function, the mind functions. And the goal of life is to know that principle. So yesterday we had seen Atimuchya dhiraha pretyasmat lokat amruta bhavanti. Dhiraha, wise people. Wise people are those people who try to realize it, experience it by discrimination. Dhi is used. This is something to be known through right understanding. It is all a matter of understanding. So yesterday we had seen how this ego is formed. What is this ego? This ego is none other than consciousness. Our nature is consciousness. But when this consciousness identifies with the BMI, an illusory existence, called ego comes into picture. And what is the nature of this ego? It is nothing but limitation. It is nothing but imperfection. And now the whole life, every one of us, we are trying to come out of this limitation. Everybody is miserable. Everybody in this world is miserable. Why? That is the nature of the ego. Misery is the nature of the ego, just like bliss is the nature of consciousness. So can you say anybody is happy in this world? Nobody is happy. Nobody can be happy. If somebody says, no, I am happy, it is an illusion. Such a person is insensitive. So Bhagavatam gives the example, an analogy. So here is a person who is chased by a tiger, and then he stumbles into one well, and as he is falling, he holds on to one branch of a small tree, or what you call a bush, which is going from the side of this. And then as he is falling, he holds on to that branch and he is hanging. And then while falling, he is knocking down one honeycomb and he is hanging on this branch. And this branch is breaking actually. And below he sees it's all stones, rocks, and all snakes and all are there. And now from this honeycomb, drop by drop, this honey is dropping. Outside, this tiger is waiting. Inside, even if he falls, the snakes are waiting. And this branch is anyway breaking. The fall itself is going to be a fatal fall. And now this fellow sticks out his tongue and is licking this honey. The point is, we are so insensitive to the realities of life that we are not seeing the pain, we are not seeing the pain inherent in pleasures. We don't have that sensitivity to see the intense pain. We have only the sensitivity to relish the immediate pleasure. Yesterday we were giving the example of a person who is smoking or drinking. He is only seeing the pleasure of that smoke. He is not seeing the future dangers. Only that much his brain is working. Like the headlight of the car. Another 50 meters and beyond that it is darkness. So the brain is also, the intellect also, the intelligence is only up to that. Beyond that, what is going to happen, it is not able to see. So therefore, the point is this, the ego is miserable. And what is the proof that this ego is miserable? Constantly it is seeking happiness from the outer world. This is the proof. Anyone who is seeking happiness from the outer world. Why should I say anyone? Let us look into ourselves. What are we seeking? Where is our mind going? Forget about others. We are not here to comment about others. Look at your own mind. You will find the mind is constantly searching happiness in the outer world. If only this would have happened. If only that would have happened. Constantly we are trying to adjust vastu, vyakti, paristhiti. Things, beings and situations. Constantly the mind is planning. This is called as sankalpa. Why is it doing so? It is doing so because it is not finding happiness within. Why is it not finding happiness within? Within, the understanding of one's own I is wrong. Consciousness is the nature of happiness, but what is within? What is within is not consciousness. What is within is a wrong notion that I am this body. So what is the end result? There is no happiness, there is only wants and demands. Wants, demands and cravings. The only joy the ego can experience is the joy of indulgence, the joy of sense pleasures. These are the only joys known to the ego. So therefore, for any sense pleasure, sense objects are needed. So the whole attention of the ego is diverted towards the outer world. So what is it constantly doing? Things which it likes, it keeps it near, and things which it dislikes, it runs away from it. So slowly, a world is formed. So this world is a world of ahankara and mamakara. Whatever gives happiness to me, I make it mama. What is aham? The BMI is aham. And what is mama? Everything which gives happiness to me, I make it mama. I want to hoard it. I want to aggrandize it. And slowly, in this filtering process, I create a world of my own. This world is called Loka. What happens when we gain knowledge? The moment we gain knowledge, we come to know happiness is here. I did not seek the world outside. Then what happens? This Loka disappears. Loka disappears means what? World will remain. This physical world. But your inner world undergoes a drastic transformation. The inner world of likes and dislikes. The inner world of confusions and delusions. The prarabdha of that person continues, so the external world continues maybe, but then his attachments, his addictions, everything vanishes. He lives in a world of his own, the world of bliss, the world of existence, consciousness and bliss. So this is the meaning, atimuchya dhiraha, he transcends. Transcending is in terms of disidentification. Transcending is because of right knowledge about oneself. He gets everything in himself, therefore he doesn't depend on the world at all. That non-dependence on the world for happiness is called transcending the world. Now the question comes, how to attain it? For that we have to ask this question, how did you lose it? Because it is yours, it is you. If consciousness is me, how did I lose it? I lost it by ignoring it. I lost it by not paying attention to it. I did not lose it. It is as though I lost it. As though is very important. Nobody can lose one's own self. But if you don't pay attention, it is as though you have lost it. So if by ignoring it I have lost it, how can I regain it? Do just the opposite of ignoring. What is the opposite of ignoring? Paying attention. In this world, whenever you pay attention to anything, you get it. I am talking. You will get it only when you pay attention to my words. Yes or no? In this world, the secret of getting anything is by paying attention. So how to gain this consciousness? Pay attention. But what is the problem we are facing? If it is an object, paying attention is very easy. Unfortunately, it cannot be perceived by the senses. It cannot be thought by the mind. Then how to pay attention? So the secret is revealed by the Rishi here. Anyadeva tad viditat atho aviditat adhi. This is different from the known. Different from the known means what? The senses cannot perceive it, the mind cannot perceive it. This is different from the known, but it is not absolutely unknown. Like a flower in the forest, some deep forest, some flower has blossomed. Unknown to anyone, it blossomed, it died, went away. It is not like that. It doesn't come as the known category, but it also doesn't come under the unknown category, like that flower, which we are not aware of. No doubt it cannot be known through the senses, but still it can be known through the senses. Yesterday we gave the example of electricity. Are you seeing it? Yes and no. I am not seeing it because I am only seeing the fan. But I am seeing it because fan cannot rotate without electricity. So, seeing in spite of not seeing. These are all the play of words. Try to get the message. Words can only point. In the same way, how do you pay attention to consciousness? The Guru says, first pay attention to the functioning of the senses. Now see the Guru, how he is answering the question of the student through the question of the student. The question should be answered based on the question, through the question, in and through the question. What was the question of the student? How is this mind functioning? How is my speech functioning? Oh dear student, this much you have reached. Now one more step ahead, that's all. Continue in the same direction. One more step ahead and you are there in the truth. So what is the message? The senses are functioning. Try to find out because of what the inert senses are functioning. Try to pay attention to that sentiency giving principle because of which the inert senses are sentient. So as you are seeing the functioning of the senses, shift your attention from the senses to the sentiency giving awareness. Now here so many examples are given. Vacha anabhyutitam yena vak abhyudyate manasa namanute yena hurmanomatam. Different examples are given because the question is like that. The one more indication is, in every perception of the sense organ, this consciousness can be inferred. You can arrive at this consciousness in every functioning of the sense organs. So now this can be a beautiful meditation. So in this process of meditation, what do? First of all, start from the sense objects. For example, the eyes are seeing. The eyes are seeing a beautiful flower. So there is a flower in front. So what is the first step of this meditation? Pay attention to flower. You are looking at that flower. So where is the attention? Attention is upon the flower. There are so many other things. You are not paying attention to any of these things. You converge your attention. You focus on that particular sense object. This is the first step. You are not looking here and there. You are not interested in anything else of the world. Just one sense object. Few minutes, spend your time focusing on that sense objects. Now if you are sure that now the mind is not wandering, the senses are not wandering, now the second step is shift your attention from the sense object to the sense organ perceiving that sense object. So what do? You are looking at something. Now where is your attention? Your attention is not on the flower. Your attention is on the eyes seeing the flower. Are you able to follow? Earlier your attention was on the flower. Now your attention is on the eyes seeing the flower. For that, you will have to shift your attention from the flower to the eyes. But suppose you say, beautiful flower, I think I should have such a flower in my garden. So I think I better cut one branch of that flower and bring it along with me, because you have seen it somewhere in the neighbor's house. Well, where will I sow it? Should I sow it in a place where lot of sunlight is there? But if at all I bring it, who will water it? Sometimes I will have to go out. What are you doing now? From the flower, you have gone out. This don't do. This is what we do. The samskaras immediately catch up, and that flower becomes a means to fly out in the world. Here we have slipped. So, you have to be careful. Not allowing the mind to escape through the flower outside. When you are seeing the flower, you are not going to entertain any thoughts other than that flower. Once you have attained that discipline, then shift the attention from the flower to the sense organ which is seeing the flower. Now where is your attention? Upon the eyes. Now suppose suddenly you think, arey, these eyes, recently only I had cataract operation. I hope everything is healed. I hope it doesn't come again. Again, what are you doing? Gone. The whole of spirituality is pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Don't allow the mind to go anywhere else. What is that which forces the mind to escape out? Our likes and dislikes, our vasanas. They are the ones who don't allow the mind to remain firmly rooted in one thing. When I am seeing the flower, I am only seeing the flower. I am not thinking about the flower. I am just witnessing the flower. Can you do it? As it is, without coloring with my likes and dislikes, without projecting, without superimposing any of my vasanas on that object. So from the flower, I shift my attention to the eyes. So from the sense object, you shift to the sense organ. Now what should be the next step? sense organ is functioning, it cannot function by itself. It is functioning because of that presence in me, awareness in me. So there is an awareness in me, the omniscient presence of the Lord as just witnessing consciousness. Now what I do? As I am seeing my eyes, I am becoming aware of awareness, in the light of which the seeing is happening. So where do you shift? You shift to that presence within. And what is that presence? That presence is Brahman. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. It is that presence. It is that awareness. In fact, this meditation can be done everywhere. Early morning you are taking bath, you get into the bathroom. Try to make everything a slow motion, because some of the things you can't do when others are around. Do it very, very slow. You are taking the toothbrush. Be aware. Don't think of the toothbrush. Then you take the toothpaste. Feel it. Then you press it. Be aware how much of pressing is necessary. Feel it. Then you bring them together. Feel it. Then slowly you apply. How much has to be applied? Not more, not less. See how the brain is functioning. See how indications are given. See how thoughts are generated. Then you apply. Then you drag it. So that a little bit of paste remains on the toothbrush. Then what has to be done? The cap has to be fitted. Then what has to be done? You have to brush. And while brushing, those bristles of the brush going past, to and fro, to and fro. Feel it. Feel everything. How the bristles are moving, how the form is generated, how the teeth are cleaned. Feel it. And as you feel it, shift your attention to that awareness, because of which you are aware of this happening. Make it a, what you call, toothbrush meditation. Then take water into your mouth, gargle it, and feel that, how along with the water all those chemicals are out. Right? Feel the freshness in your mouth. Be aware of it. Do everything very slowly, so that every event is recorded. Every little events are recorded in awareness. Events are just observed. Events are not commented upon. There is no commentary. There is no escaping also. There is no thinking about something. No, whatever is happening right here, right now, entire attention is focused upon that. There is no judging. There is no other thought other than the thought of what you are doing right now. Again you take bath. Water droplets are dripping from your body. Feel it. This is bathing meditation. Feel it. Feel how fresh you feel when the water falls on your head. Feel that freshness. Shift your attention to awareness, in the presence of which that feeling happens. Then take the towel. The towel is there on the stand. Feel the amount of force you have used to take the towel. Feel how the muscles in your hands move. And as you wipe the towel, how that water is absorbed into the towel. Feel it. Observe it. Witness it. Right? Now the whole body has become dry. You are stepping out of the bathroom. Now you feel that there is one part of the body which is still wet. Which is it? Under the feet. Feel it. Then step onto that rug and see how that water is absorbed by the rug. And what do you feel? Now that under feet, it is dry. Now you step out of that rug and you see whether the marks are left on the floor or not. Now this way I can go on and on and on. It is just a sample given to you. This is how you have to live in awareness. And you will be amazed. You just practice it for 10-15 minutes. You will be amazed. Mind becomes very calm. The mind becomes very fresh. In fact, as I am narrating this, your mind must have become calm. You are not allowing the mind to go anywhere. You are just bringing the mind to the present. And in the present, there are only some few things to do. And so therefore the mind is not dissipating its energies in the past and the future. And everything is done so silently, so calmly, with so much of attention. You will be amazed how you will feel a kind of refreshed state of mind. From where did this mind gain this freshness? The mind gained its freshness because it is slowly coming to the present. And the moment you start fixing your attention in the present, slowly the ego is disappearing. Because what is ego? It is the stinking bundle of the past. Ego is nothing but the fears of the past and the imaginations of the future. Ego exists only in the past and the future. In the present there is only presence. Ego cannot exist without the past and the future. So what are you doing? You are bringing the entire attention upon the present, and as you are bringing the entire attention of the present, the ego slowly disappears, and as the ego disappears, you feel the bliss of consciousness radiating through that mind. The nature of ego is misery. The nature of consciousness is bliss. So as you gravitate towards the center of your existence, towards the present, you find these things happening in you. Now this is what the Guru is telling. In and through the functioning of the sense organs, try to infer. Try to pay attention to that awareness in you. And you will find this awareness is not something different from you. Nedam yadidam upasate. It is not some idam. It is aham. Awareness can be experienced only as aham, I. This is a beautiful meditation technique, and this technique has been thoroughly practiced by the Zen masters. If you find the Zen masters give importance to this. But all these techniques are there in the Upanishads. But they took it seriously, and this is what they do. Living in the present. Try it next time when you take a bath. At home, make a morning meditation through bathroom. Bathroom meditation. Do it very slow. It might take 1 hour, but slowly do it. Slowly do it. You might feel impatient. Don't listen to that mind. Mind will say, what are you doing? Wastage of time. Come, rush, 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 rush. You should say, shut up. You have cheated me enough. From the beginningless time, this mind has cheated me, saying that the future is important, not the present. It has always dragged me away from the present to the past and the futures. So now when that mind becomes impatient, watch that mind also. Don't listen to the mind. What you should do? Watch the mind. Watch that mind becoming impatient. Watch. Witness. Don't listen. Just watch. Don't take decision based on an impatient mind. No. In the beginning, plan. This 1 hour I am going to be very, very slow, very, very alert, very, very attentive. Plan in the beginning. This time to this time. I am not going to make anything fast. I am going to do very slowly everything. This is the meditation. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. Then what you start experiencing, slowly, as you start paying attention to this consciousness, this awareness, paying attention becomes your nature. Just like now, ignoring consciousness has become my nature. When you start paying attention becomes your nature. And something wonderful happens. When you start focusing on paying attention, your mind cannot take you for granted. Meaning, actions come from thoughts, and this thought also builds up and forces me to act. 1 thought, 2 thought, 4, 16, 32, 64, 128. The momentum of the thoughts increases, and this thought momentum forces me to speak, forces me to act. Now what happens when you start paying attention? As the thoughts are multiplying, you are alert, you are aware. You are able to deeply look within your subconscious mind, and you are able to see those thoughts erupting. And the moment you are able to detect this thought multiplication, once you have detected, you are able to correct it also. You are able to correct your thoughts because you have learned to pay attention to your thoughts. And once you are able to correct your thoughts, you are able to correct your speech, and you are able to correct your actions also. And once you are able to bring out beautiful speech and beautiful actions, you create a beautiful world around you. Because what is the law? Paradukhadaha janaha tadbhungte. If this is the law, as you sow, so shall you reap. Once you are able to control your mind, your speech, your action, you are able to choose your action, you are able to choose your speech. And once you are able to choose your speech, you will choose the best. You will choose the most noble and the divine. And once you make the choice of the best, naturally the world has to reciprocate with the best. So you create a beautiful world around you. This is how we transform the world. So where should it begin? I should begin with myself. Where? By paying attention. Learn. This is an art. This is an ability. This is a strength. The ability to pay attention. Right? So now moving forward. So the teacher has given the teaching, and now the teacher asked, have you understood? So all the students, they went back in some secluded place, thought about it, they came back, and one student said, Suveda, I have thoroughly understood, oh teacher, thank you very much. I got it. He was bubbling with joy. The teacher looked at him. You have got it? Now the teacher wants to ensure whether he has got it the right way or he has misunderstood it. Because there is all the possibility of misunderstanding here. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes a story. This knowledge was given to the king of the Asuras, Virochana, and the king of the Devatas, Indra, by Brahmaji. Brahmaji gave this knowledge to Virochana and Indra. Virochana said, I got it. What did he understand? He thought this body is Brahman. This is his understanding. Indra did not understand. Once again the teaching was given, second time. He said, I did not understand. Once again the teaching was given. He said, no. Then he went, purified his mind, came back. Once again the teaching was given. He said, now I got it. This story is given by Bhagavan Shankaracharya to say that it is very easy to misunderstand. So when the student said, Suveda, I got it. So now the teacher is testing whether the student has really got it or not. That is the next verse. So that comes in the second chapter, the first verse. Yadi manyase suvedeti daharameva nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam yadasya tvam yadasya deveshu athano mimamsyamevate manye viditam. Yes. So there was this great joy of the student. It was clearly seen. Now the teacher wants to test the student. Did he really get it? Or is she showing off in front of others that I am a brilliant child? You know, the Shishyas normally want to show off. So the teacher wants to test. Has he known or is he still stuck somewhere? Yadi manyase suveda iti. If you think that you have understood thoroughly well, then daharameva nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam. Then I think you have not understood. Daharameva, very little only you have understood. Meaning, I think your understanding is faulty. Number one, this subject is very, very subtle, and if somebody said, I got it, there is all the possibility you have misunderstood it. Now it is the responsibility of the teacher to also indicate where you might have gone wrong. So here the two possibilities of mistakes are indicated. Yadasyatvam, yadasya deveshu. So what are the tips given? that because of which the senses function, that is Brahman. This is tip number 1. That because of which the senses function, that because of which the senses are made sentient. This is tip number 1. What is tip number 2? Nedam yadidam upasate. It is not known as this. It is known as I, not as this. These are the 2 tips. So in these 2 tips, how a person can misinterpret these 2 tips, that is what is pointed here. So the first tip is that because of which the senses function. So now the Guru says, you might have misunderstood that the senses are functioning because of some devata. This possibility is there. Because we have all the devatas for every senses. For the eyes it is Surya Devata, for mind it is Chandra Devata, etc. So there is a possibility that you are imagining some Devata because of whom the senses are functioning. Yadasya Deveshu Athanu Mimamsyamevate. Then you will have to think, reflect more. It is not that. Not some Devata who is making your senses function. No. This is one mistake. The second mistake is with regard to Nedam Yadidam Upasate. It is not this. Now what is left then? If it is not this, so that also come under this only. Don't say then it will be that. No. This and that, everything together is this. Nedam yadidam upasate. Then now what is left? I alone is left. So if entire anatmas are discarded, what is left is only Atma. Now the Guru said there again is a possibility of committing the mistake. Yadasya tvam asya brahmanaha yat surupaha tattvam. Here also there is a mistake. Now what is the mistake? Aham, if you see, aham is Brahma. Which aham? Aham vritti or aham? This aham also has got 2 types. What are they? One is aham vritti, the other is aham. What is aham vritti? I thought. What is aham vritti? Nothing but ego. Wrong notion about myself also exists in me as aham only. In an ignorant person, what is aham? It is a wrong notion about I. How does this wrong notion about I remain in me? As I. Now then, what is the difference between this wrong notion I and true I? The difference is, wrong notion I is a thought, true I is not a thought, it is consciousness. What is the difference between aham vritti and aham? Aham vritti is a wrong notion, it is a thought. Aham is pure consciousness. So what is the Guru saying? You think this aham is Brahman? Which aham? Guru is saying, have you misunderstood aham as aham vritti? Then athanu mimamsyamevate. Then you must think a little more. If you think this aham vritti is Brahman, then think a little more. It is not aham vritti, because even vritti is none other than idam. Are you able to follow? Vritti means what? Thought modifications. Even these thought modifications cannot be called as aham, because every thought can be witnessed. And if you can witness a thought, this thought will not be the subject, it will come under the category of object. And the very fact that you are witnessing it, it shows it is idam. Nedam yadidam upasate. So go back. The student goes back. And then what does he do? So now here Bhagwan Shankaracharya writes, Evam acharyuktaha shishyaha, the student who has been instructed, ekante upavishtaha, sitting alone in solitude, samahitaha san, with a concentrated mind, yathoktam acharyena agamam, arthataha vicharya, thinking about whatever the teacher has said, tarkatascha nirdharya, through logical reasoning coming to the right conclusion, swanubhavam krutva, having experienced it directly, acharya sakasham upagamya, going near the teacher, uvacha, he said, manye viditam, I consider I have understood. So that last two words, manye viditam, is spoken by the student. The entire verse, yadi manyase suvedeti daharameva nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam yadasyatvam yadasya deveshu athanumimam semevate. Up to this is the teacher. The student goes, sits, reflects, experiences, comes back and says, manye viditam. I think I've got it. If you have got it, then explain. Now comes the sixer. The sixer in Upanishad. What is a sixer? As somebody has nicely described, sixer is an event where the fielders become spectators and the spectators become fielders. It is considered to be one of the most amazing answer by any Upanishadic student. There are so many ups and downs in Upanishad also. It is not sober throughout. No, humor is there, fun is there, wonder is there. Now, what is the answer of the student? Naham manye suvedeti no na vedeti vedacha yo nastadveda tadveda no na vedeti vedacha naham manye suvedeti no na vedeti vedacha yo nastadveda tadveda no na vedeti vejata. Yes, so earlier he had said suveda. Then the teacher said, better think again. Now what is his answer? Naham manye suveda iti. I don't think I have understood it well. But no na vedeti. But that doesn't mean I have not understood. Vedacha, I have understood. And also I have not understood. So here Shankaracharya says, cha means na veda. No na vedeti, veda cha. I have understood, but at the same time I have not understood. What are you trying to say? Naham manye suvedeti. I don't say I have understood. But that doesn't mean I have not understood. I have understood it also, and I have not understood it also. Yo naha tadveda, whoever understands whatever I have said, he also has understood. Yo nas tadveda tadveda. Whoever has understood my statement, he also has understood. He has known that Brahman. No na vedeti vedacha. What does it mean? We'll see tomorrow. So again we will sit for 5 minutes being aware. So here we'll let us make the alambanam support as the very breathing in us. So take deep breath, pay attention to the breathing, don't think anything about the breathing. Pay attention to the breathing and then slowly shift the attention to the awareness in the light of which the breathing happens. And let us abide in that awareness. Let us chant Om once, take a deep breath.